Okay, so you know the folder structure. So before going to the code and going with our UI design, first let me introduce you to ndesign and ndesign form. So ndesign, a very popular UI library that is used in production grade projects. So in our bootcamp project, we are also using ndesign. So in this particular course, we are going to use the ndesign form, and throughout other following courses, I'm going to use other ndesign forms. So you'll be able to learn about multiple components from ndesign. So this is a simple example of our form component from ndesign. So if we expand the code, we are using JavaScript. Okay. Okay, so as you can see, we are simply rendering our form component that we get from our UI, and we have to pass some props. We can pass the name and for our label column and wrapper column. This is optional. You do not have to enter the label column and wrapper column. It just specified how much space the label column is going to take and how much the input field is going to take. Okay, then we have our initial values. We can set the remember to true to remember our initial values. And then we have two important props, our unfinished props. This unfinished prop is going to execute this function provided that is drilled to our this prop that is going to be executed after you submit the form. And if there is any validation error or any kind of error when submitting the form, it will be rendered in your unfinished function, unfinished props. Okay. So let's go back to our code. So first of all, we are going to cover our first user story, that is our user registration, right? So let's go back to our code and let me show you how you can implement the form ndesign form. If we go to our source directory, then go to pages and inside auth in our registration folder. Okay. Okay, so first of all, you can see there are a lot of functions. Do not worry about any of this. Let's first focus on our UI design. I'm going to show you each and every function in this file. So let's go to our UI first. So okay, let me show you how I am rendering the functionalities. So first of all, I am declaring a state that is OTP sent. That means if the user has entered their name, email, and password, and the OTP was sent to them. So if the OTP is not sent, then I am saying OTP is sent. Then I am rendering the OTP form. That means the OTP form UI that I showed you in our UI design. And initially, I am rendering the registration form component. So I have divided into two components. You can do it in one file if you want. So I just did it for code readability. So if you have too much code in one file, it's better to divide them into components. So as you know, React is all about components. So this is our registration form. So as you can see in our ndesign form, I have imported the form from ndesign, and you can pass on any class name like normal class names, and it mostly works with ndesign. And then we have our name, the register form. We have our unfinished function and unfinished failed function, and our autocomplete is off. So inside the form.item, so as you can see, and it is a compound components. That means you can use the components inside the form with the dot notation. That means if I want to use the form.items, I can say form.items. And inside that, I am giving it a name, a class name, and also I am setting up some rules. So, okay. So if you are using a form, of course, you want to get the data, right? So if you are using normal HTML, you give each of your input element a name, right? It's the same thing here. You just give the name to the form.item component. So ndesign form is going to register this input field with this name. So whatever name you give here, you will be return the value with a key value pair or name value pair with this name. So for this, our name input field, I am setting up name. For our email, I am setting up the name to email, and for our password, I am setting the email name to password. Okay. So let's go to our user UI and see how it looks. Okay, so this is our home page, and if I come down here and click on register. Okay, so as you can see, this is our auth.register page, and I have already designed the UI with form. You can implement the form. You can explore our ndesign form, and you can develop it, design it as you like. Everybody has different style. So we have our name field, our email field, and this is our password field. As you can see, as I am removing the email and password, you get these values, errors. But if I go to our code, you can see there are no errors defined here, or I am not handling the errors. So this is the benefit of using the ndesign form. You can any other library, you can handle it with raw form, just HTML form. So there are multiple ways to do it. I'm just using form for better convenience. And as you can see, with the form.item beside our name and class name, I am also setting up rules, right? So these rules are the verifications. If you want to verify an input field in ndesign form, you can set up rules. So you do not have to remember any of these, or you do not have to memorize the rules or anything. If you go to their official documentation as a developer, it is a good habit to read the documentation. Okay, so if you go to the documentation, you can see that they saying that you can add rules if you want in a validation. So they are saying that the name field is this input field is required, and if the user violates this rule, we are going to show the message that please input your username. We're doing the same here. We're saying that if the username is required, of course, if you want to register to a e-commerce site, your name is required. And if the user fails to enter the name, I'm just giving them a warning that please enter your name. And the name can be maximum 30 letters. You can set up max and min with ndesign form. And after that, if we come to the email, it is the same rule that email is required. And I'm showing the message that please enter your email. As you can see, if we go to our UI, okay. Okay, this is the message that is showing that please enter your name. Okay, so if you go to the documentation, read the documentation thoroughly and start implementing. And after that, for our password field, I'm setting up two rules that of course required is true, and please enter your password, and the password has to be minimum of 6 characters. You can add other validations if you read the documentation, and you can see other validations how you can validate their password. So, okay, after that, we have got our name, our password, and email. So let's say the user enters all of this successfully. So let's say my name is Mahmoud. So for this, actually, let's go to Google and let's search temporary email. So we are going to use a temporary email to make the sign up. Okay, let's go to this website. Okay, so we are going to use this temporary email to register. Let me enter the email and let's give it a simple password. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, what will happen if I click on register? As you can see, I am setting that this is where is our register button. Okay, this is our register button, and the type HTML type is submit. That is, if I click on register, this form will be submitted. And when I submit the form, this onFinished function will be called. Okay, so let's go to our onFinished function that I am passing as props. Okay, where is our onFinished function? Okay, this is our onFinished function, right? So before understanding this, let me show you what values the ndesign gives us. Okay, let me comment it out and go to our UI again. Right click and open your console. Okay, if we go to our console, and I have entered all my credentials, and if I click on register, okay, as you can see, I am getting our name, email, and password with the same name that I have specified in our form.item, right? This is the name, email, and password. Okay, now that we have got all our data according to our API documentation, we have to send our email, name, and password. Let's go back to our code again. All right. Okay. So this is our onFinished function, and inside our set loading, I am setting up the loading state.